Ward, I just don't think about him anymore.
Think again. Think.
How's it going, everybody? It's time for another great Mr. Poestyle video. Now, about 2 weeks ago, just about 2 weeks ago, the immortal John Hancock did a video about the new Atari Flashback 50, or Atari Flashback 11, he said is also known as. And I watched the video, and really the flashbacks are something that I haven't really looked into for a while. Now, when the 10 came out, I did think it looked really cool, because it finally had the little switches on it, not the big giant weird kid looking pushy smushy buttons on it like all the other flashbacks pretty much had on it. So it looked closer to the real deal. So I thought about it at the time, but I haven't bought a flashback since the Atari Flashback 9 Gold, I believe, and I actually bought that for my parents' house. Something there to remind you of the old days, you know, something that they could have the grandkids or great-grandkids play when they're there, or me and my brother, like in the old days. My brothers, my sister, you know. So it does get some use at their house, and it had an SD card capability, which was nice because I threw a ton of games on there that we had, a ton of games that we didn't have back in the day. And it's at my parents' now, and we do. Whenever we go up to visit, we play occasionally. And my parents actually, in the wintertime, sit and challenge each other to freeway and stampede and things like that. So I think that's really cool because, you know, they're in their mid-70s now. I just think that's a really cool thing. But a flashback, as far as that goes, I wasn't really looking into getting one. I have a Retron 77 with SD card. I have a bunch of different models of the original Atari 2600. I have the portables, 2600. You can emulate 2600 on pretty much everything these days, probably even your cat, if you try it hard enough. But I wouldn't try it with the dog. He'd probably bite you and sniff your butthole. But he said that the Flashback 50 was only available on one site, Microless, I believe it was, that he got it from. And when he did get it, he got the gold edition. It had the, I don't know, European plug on it. European, I'm a poopin'. Not the US plug on it. So not a big deal. He put another plug on it, then he played it, then he reviewed it. So check out his video because he does a nice review on it. So I waited probably about a week and decided to look it up. And whenever I did a search for it, it came up available from the same website, Microless, that he got it from, and one other one, which really kind of surprised me. I don't know if it really blew my mind, but it surprised me. And that is Montgomery Ward. Now, do you remember Montgomery Ward? You gotta be an old dude like me, probably, to really remember it, because they went out of business. Their brick and mortar stores went out of business in 2001. But they were the original order from catalog from, I think the date was 1872. They were the first. They were out before Sears and Roebuck, before Penny and all the rest. And they were the original wish book. If you've played Red Dead Redemption 2, you see you can go into the store and order stuff from a catalog. That was Montgomery Ward. You ordered all the stuff you wanted from this catalog, this wish book. You wish that you had these items, and you ordered it. And that was really popular for a long time, a very long time. Now, eventually, they did have to make brick and mortar stores because the competition went wild. Sears and Roebuck came around in the 1890s, I believe, and really threw on the competition as far as ordering things. And then places like Sears made real physical stores. So Montgomery Ward felt the crunch. They had to make stores too. Same thing with the whole mall experience. JCPenney, Macy's, Sears all had a mall presence when the malls were popular. Eventually, Ward had to go forward and do that as well. And it was just a very popular way to get your stuff. Even when I was a kid, it was just a wonderful thing to get your catalogs. For us, mostly it was JCPenney and Sears. You would get your Christmas wish book your Christmas book, and you would mark what you wanted, and oh, we loved it. When we didn't live in town, but in town was a JCPenney catalog place where you picked up your orders. And pretty much every Christmas, that's what my mother did. She handed us, or we would run and grab at the mailbox around August or September, I think, the catalogs would come out for Christmas, and we would circle what we wanted, and just watching commercials, and we want this and that, you know, and we would circle it. And my mom would order from Penny's because she could drive in there and pick up the box, and we only had one vehicle at the time, late 70s, early 80s. My dad was working, you weren't going anywhere. When he was home, you had the Dodge Aspen station wagon for the most part, and I remember even going with them when they picked up our Christmas gifts at Penny's. Was in the basement. The Penny's that we had in town had some clothes and stuff, not a lot of stuff like the J.C. Penney's that later on came out in the malls and stuff. But in the basement was where you picked up your orders, and I remember as a very young kid, real little fella, going in with my mom and my brother and stuff, maybe when my older brother and sister were in school, me and my other brother were there. And she would just get this huge box at Christmas time, huge. We weren't allowed to look in it, and they would put it in the back of the station wagon and drive home, and she would wrap those presents and throw them back in this huge cardboard box we ordered from Penny's. So a lot of people did catalog orders back in the day. It all comes and goes around in circles, I suppose, because you know, you ordered from catalogs back in the day. Then you went into stores and actually bought stuff, and then you know, that kind of closed down. Now you're ordering online from Amazon and places like that, or in this case, Montgomery Ward. Who knew? Blew my mind. But you're ordering again online, but now you're getting it in a couple days. You're not getting it a year from now, 8 months from now, like the old West, like, you know, how they ordered things back in the day. And Montgomery Ward was special to me. We didn't shop there quite as often. My dad would for appliance type things. Now, late 70s, early 80s, I remember he got a dehumidifier from them, and that thing still works. It's in his basement still. Montgomery Ward's signature series, I do believe, dehumidifier, still works. Can't say much like that for the products of today. But Montgomery Ward was about 7 miles from here. We did a lot of our shopping at Kmart once it finally came in, and Fisher's Big Wheel and Hills for our action figures, our video games, everything back in the day. But Montgomery Ward was there. We would go. We didn't get a lot of toys from there. They seemed a little bit pricier, but they were still always a presence that was there until they closed shop. And now that Montgomery Ward's still sitting there, and now it's an indoor storage place. I think U-Haul owns it or something like that, indoor storage, whatever. I actually worked at the place when I first got out of high school. I worked on the loading dock at Montgomery Ward for almost 2 years. Unloaded the product from corporate, whatever, the trucks, and stocked them in the warehouse, and then waited on customers on the loading dock and delivered their goods to their vehicles from me. Actually, fun little story. This was the early 90s, and a guy, sometimes people would tip you for loading stuff in their car, and the guy's like, I don't have any money for a tip, would you like a Nintendo? And I already had my Nintendo and a bunch of games, and by that point I was heavily playing Super Nintendo, but I'm like, why not? Sure. And he gave me a Nintendo. I think he had like the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles and probably RBI Baseball, maybe Back to the Future or something game too. For whatever reason, the guy had it in the trunk of his car, and he's like, you want? Maybe he was going to throw them out. And I took, but I already had mine anyway. But that's a different story. When I saw that Montgomery Ward was selling the Atari 50 Flashback, you know, I really didn't think I was going to jump on getting one, but it's Montgomery Ward, so this is 2022. I am getting an Atari 2600 from Montgomery Ward in 2022. Who would have thought it? So I kind of had to do it. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of huge branding on the box. It's just on the shipping label that it's Montgomery Ward. But to me, this, okay, I'll do it. I got the Atari. Now, I thought I was getting the gold. I didn't really look into it. It's not the gold. It's just the Atari 50 version. But that's okay. That's okay. I'm probably really not going to play it much. I've said before, I don't really buy stuff to display or hold back or whatever, but this might be one of the exceptions. I can play Atari 2600 games again on 5,000 different things, probably even on a Pop-Tart at this point. But why not have it? Atari 50 branding on the thing. It's Atari 50. It all started for me with this. That's right, I still didn't put the game back in the sleeve because the sleeve is way too tight. This is an awesome collection, by the way. Check out my other video that came out a day before pre-orders came out. But Atari 50, so you got that going for you. And let's just go to the box. I probably rambled on enough, but yeah, Montgomery Ward was special in that I did work for them for a few years. They were a household name big time, and then they went out of business in 2001. Another company started them up, bought the trademark, the names kind of like Atari, how Atari is an Atari today. Montgomery Ward is not Montgomery Ward today. Montgomery Ward was bought by another company, and they did an online presence, and then they actually, I think they auctioned it off. And Swiss Colony, of all places, Swiss Colony Group, bought it. I think they said, I was looking it up, I think it was 2008 until present, I think, or 2010 until present. Swiss Colony was another thing we always got catalogs for, and that's where you ordered your meats and cheeses for people for Christmas. Always got that catalog. So there's another throwback. I remember my dad and mom doing that all the time. My aunt and uncle lived in Chicago with my cousins. My other aunt and uncle lived out in Indiana near the Kentucky border with my little cousin. My dad's best friend had moved off to Michigan. They would order them meats and cheeses through Swiss Colony catalog each year and at Christmas. And then in return, a lot of times they would send us stuff. You would get meats and cheeses and cakes and cookies and candies and little jars of jellies and little jars of mustards. They're the ones that own Montgomery Ward name now. And so they're still selling online, which surprised me because I knew there was an online presence after the brick and mortar stores closed. But I thought that was done with years ago, you know, early 2000s. I thought that they were doing online and then it was dead. But they're still there. I ordered from them. And like I said, this is what I got. This is my box. And that is on the label, Montgomery Ward. I'll show you that if I can remember to drop it down there. And I just got the Atari 50 Flashback 50th Anniversary Edition. Not the gold. Now the gold box does look way cooler. Check out the Immortal John Hancock's video on this. The box looks awesome because it's black and gold. Steelers color. Pittsburgh Penguins colors. Black and gold. Pittsburgh Pirates colors, but I'm not really into baseball. Really, Steelers aren't doing great now either. But 110 built-in games is what you're getting with this thing. The gold, you're getting 130 games, so that's okay. I don't need 2 copies of this. I really just bought this for the feels. I'm getting an Atari 2600 in the year 2022 from Montgomery Ward, so that's freaking crazy. Crazy! And this version, now John Hancock's came with paddles and an HDMI cord, but he had the plug-in that was what it was, a European plug or whatever. Now I ordered this. I did get the plug for the US. So there you go. That's one thing. Now the paddles do not come with this. It's not the gold. You do get your Atari controllers, and then you get your little mini Flashback, your 2600 if you would, and there's your 50 branding right on it. So that's pretty neat. This is great because the old ones had the big squishy buttons before the 10 came out, but now you've got actual buttons or switches that work. My only complaint about this is put the 6th one in there. Make it more aesthetically pleasing. This is great. You've jumped leaps and bounds with this, but put that in there, you know. Obsessive compulsive me wants that 6th one in there. I think it's a heavy 6er because of the shape. Not positive on that, but I don't have a heavy 6er. I have a light 6er in my original 4 Woody. I have a Vader I have a bunch of ways to play, but I don't have a heavy sixer. You have your power cord, goes right in there, and you have your HDMI, and there's your controller ports on the back, which I don't like them on the back, but whatever. That's the way the original 2600 was, so that's the way it is. But yeah, you could have gave us the little black and white switch here, even if it did nothing at all. Just put it there, please. But they're gold. They're gold, so that looks really nice. I'll do a comparison if I remember. I'll put it on my original 4-switch or my 6-switch 2600. Here's my world's tiniest compared to it, so that's kind of small, huh? But I thought that's pretty cool. And there's no SD card port here on there. They're not sure if you're going to be able to add more games to the port there. Like I guess you could on the 10. I didn't have a 10. But it looks great. It looks great. And I'll plug it in here and we'll turn it on and we'll see what games are included. I've heard that they dropped the Parker Brothers games. That's okay. I own these games on everything anyway. But if you're looking for a one-stop shop, these are pricier. This one, like I said, is not the gold. It's the 50th. And it cost me $75, $76 for this thing. The one that is the gold on Microless that John Hancock got was over $100 for that, for the extra 20 games. And I think he said there was more Activision games on it. And he said they're pretty good games, but we'll go through, we'll look real quick and see what's on it. Again, I don't usually do this. This is probably one that's not really going to get played because I have the games everywhere. I have physical games out the butthole. I have emulation. I have the SD card on the Retron 77. But I thought it looked really nice. I don't normally go in for looks. But I just had to because I have a history. My family has a history. Almost everybody has a history with Montgomery Ward. And like I said, I worked with them for 2 years in the early 90s before I joined the U.S. Air Force. I was trying to save back money, deciding where my life was going to go. I worked at Montgomery Ward after I worked in a deli for a few years. And at that time, we unloaded truck early in the morning. Sometimes we would stop by Electric Avenue, which was their electronics department, and would play some games, even though we weren't supposed to on the clock. What are they going to do, fire me now? But they had the 3DO and the CDI and the Super Nintendo hooked up at the time, and I owned the Super Nintendo, so I would check out the CDI. I remember that Link game, Zelda game being there, thinking, what is this mess, even back then, and the 3DO and stuff being there. So really cool, fond memories. We'll take a look at this and see what's on it, and maybe play a game or two, maybe not. We'll see what kind of time we have. Don't have a lot of time, but that's the Atari 50. So I'm 49. Well, these didn't come out until 77, the 2600. But 50 years for the company itself. This is what they have out now. I think Atari, the people that own it now, are doing a great job. I don't have the new VCS. That's okay. I don't need it. But this kind of stuff is cool. The Flashback has been away for a little while, and now it's back for the 50. But I'm pretty sure, check Wikipedia, I'm pretty sure it's a lot of the same games you already got if you bought a Flashback before. But if it's somebody that doesn't have anything Atari and suddenly they want to get into it, this might be the way to go. It's a little pricey. It might be the way to go. Or just emulate anywhere you want. Emulate on a waffle these days for the 2600, honestly. I mean, you could play right on your Ego. All right, everybody, let's get to what is inside. Let's do it. All right, let's see what's inside. Beam Rider, that's a good one. Close enough. papers, you gotta have that. Like a boom. It said the gold comes with the paddles. I don't have the paddles for this version, so. Point, I have that for my Atari cartridge. A few years ago, Pressure Cooker is a really fun game. Can't remember all the rules on it, but it's a fun game. Return to Haunted House, I think that's on a bunch of these flashbacks. Save Mary, that's fun. That's on all these flashbacks too. Stampede, my first video game that I owned ever on my Atari 2600 40 years ago this Christmas. Unbelievable. I'll probably have to play that just for the principle of it. Video pinball. Yar's Revenge. Yar's Return. There you go. Try one of these out. I have Beam Rider. I just figure out what I want to play. Frog Pond. Lock and Chase is also a classic, great game. I don't remember all the rules to this, but I know once you do, it's a fun game. So select button. I can't see anything because I got the room totally dark here. I don't remember what to do. It's been so long since I played it. People order certain things and you're supposed to you're supposed to do certain things with the things. And I'm not doing them. Am I doing the things? I'm doing them wrong. I don't remember the rules. I'm sorry, I was unprepared. That's okay. It is a fun game, trust me. Trust me. Oh, Outlaw. I used to love that game so much. First game I ever owned. Ever. They do have pitfall, but I think the gold has pitfall too. This one does not. But that's it. I mean, you really gotta decide if it's worth it for you. It just was for me for the nostalgic feels, you know. Montgomery Ward, Atari 2600. That'll take you back. Terrible. No. Oof. Jerk. No. Jerk. Oof. Wow. Wow. Uh-oh. Oh, man. Alright, I quit. I'm a quitter. I'm a quitter. What else I should try? I mean, down there. They moved it on me. That's pretty fun. Bullshit, but it's fun. Oh. There it is. No! Get it. Get it. Get it. Yeah, boy. Oh, shit. Oh, we're done here. All right. I have this for also the ColecoVision and the 5200. Maybe the television, I can't remember. I have it for a lot of systems. Mostly for collecting purposes. Enough of it. Anything else you want to see, guys? No. Oh, even though it's terrible on this, I just love Burger King, so I have to. I absolutely have to. Terrible one here. It looks more like you're making egg McMuffin. That brown rectangle got me good, huh? Ugh. Recently, Brian's Man Cave did a better version of this. The homebrew. Wrong way! Wrong way. I didn't have this one back in the day. I loved it on the arcade cabinet back then. That's not the Flashback's fault. That's in the original release too. Let's go grab that. What is that? Poestyle. Music's gone. stick getting caught. Where's the hitbox? Hit detection way off. At least make one burger before I die here. Yummy. That looks delicious. Oh, so getting caught on everything. So much better with television controls. Tell me. Cheers. Up, up. It won't go up. It won't go up. Terrible. Terrible. Oh, I can't move over. Can't move over. I can't get over from there. That's why, idiot. All right. Oof. Ah. Ooh, hot lava. Magma. Oh no. Okay. Oof. That sound isn't very good. The control and sound is a little bad on that. Yeah, very bad. Not the quintessential Pitfall. I do have this for my 2600. I got it a few years ago, but I don't really remember what you're supposed to do. I don't remember at all, actually. It's been so long since I played it. The wolf ain't doing anything either. I got a stick of buttering myself up for the wolf. Oh, you like that? Just give him a little tease. You like it? You like a buttered ham, do you, Wolfie? Oh, it's so good and you can't have it. You can't get in here. Oh, yeah. I'm buttering my belly. Pork bellies. All right. Alright, well, you know most of these games, if not all of these games, so that's what you get with the Atari Flashback 50. Looks like it doesn't even say 50 on here anywhere. And you got your settings, your bezels, etc. Turn off your background music. Alphabetical order, recently played, my favorites. I don't know how they got my favorites, but there it is. It is one of my favorites. First game I ever owned. Alright, guys. And so there you have it. That is the Atari Flashback 50th Anniversary Edition. Not the gold, the ungold, the silver, the bronze, whatever. Is it worth it? That's up to the individual. I don't review. I don't tell you what to do, what to get. I just show you what you got. For me, that's probably silly, but I couldn't pass it up. An Atari 2600 from Montgomery Ward in 2022. Who would have figured? Now, we didn't get our Atari 2600 from there. But it is 40 years ago this Christmas, so there'll be hopefully another video on just that alone. Atari 2600 we got Christmas of '82, and I was 9 years old. It took a lot of years of convincing from my older brothers to my dad to get us an Atari. He was convinced that it was going to ruin his big screen Zenith 25-inch with the wood cabinet built all around. I heard from his friends about burn-in and this and that and different things that he saw and read, and it was going to be terrible and it was going to destroy his TV. And if he didn't have his TV, then he couldn't watch his lottery numbers on it. So that's pretty much all you watch, that and the nightly news and Hill Street Blues. So it took a while, but when I was 9, we finally got one, and it was from Fisher's Big Wheel, they told us, and that one they bought us in '82 had Pac-Man and Combat packaged in with it, and they also bought us Haunted House, Defender, Stampede, and Pitfall. So that was a wonderful Christmas. I hope to make a video about that soon. Sorry about the Christmas intro, but this to me is Christmas since it came up this week. I put the Christmas, I know it's before Thanksgiving, sorry about that. But yeah, it's cool, it's fun. I don't normally collect just to have something, but that is special to me. Montgomery Ward, had an impact on our lives back in the day. And of course, Atari 2600 introduced me to the hobby that I love still to this day. At 49 years old, almost 50 years old, I'm still loving video games from past and present. Love it all, except I don't get too much into mobile games. Have done mobile gaming, but not so much. VR, Switch, current gen, just love it all. And it's all because of the original 2600. Now, if I remember here, I'll throw up a picture of my original 2600 with the Flashback 50 and maybe my world's smallest, tiniest Atari all together, so you can see the size. We'll put it up here somewhere, maybe, if I remember, and I probably won't. And some pictures too from some of the Sears catalogs from back in the day when they were selling the Atari 2600. I found a few of those. I'd like to throw those up here too. And like I said, they were done with catalogs after 1985, so 37 years ago. They stopped doing catalogs, and I found a couple pictures online that I thought were pretty neat. So what do you think? Will you be getting this? You can get that lineup of games pretty much anywhere, like I said, and you can play Atari 2600 anywhere if you know how to emulate and put things on computers and on your soft modded Switches and your Xboxes. And there's collections, official collections out. I do have them too. But at this point I've quazillion dipped on Atari games because I have a ton of cartridges. I've bought compilations, PS4 I know, and the Xboxes and Switch have collections that you can get that might even be better than this for you. And with these you also get a few prototypes or homebrews or whatever as well. But it's nothing really, not a lot that you haven't already seen on Flashback systems before. So it really comes down to you. How passionate are you? Do you want that 50 branding on there? Well, you got it on the box now. You have it on the 2600 now. So that's something. And the 2600 Flashback looks a lot nicer now since the 10. But at the 10 just had the gray or silver switches. Now you got the gold or bronze switches, whatever you want to call them. Should have had the black and white one there, even if it didn't function. Or have it in there and make it so that you could push up and down on it, but it don't do anything at all. Just do that for us. Make it look even. Make it look like a sixer, huh? Light sixer, heavy sixer, whatever sixer. Make it a 4-switch Woody. Give us a Vader variant. People will buy it up. Not as widely available as Flashbacks normally were. You can't walk into any Dollar General and get their special edition of it, as far as I know. I didn't see it on Amazon anywhere. So you're only going to have so many places to get this from. Again, you're going to pay just over $75 for this regular edition, and you're going to pay $100 is what the Immortal John Hancock said for the gold edition. So you really might want to decide whether you're really into it that much, if you really want to play it that much, or you're a collector that much that you want to have this in your collection. I'm glad that I do, although like I said, I turned it on there, show you a few games. I don't know, unless I'm able to update it. If there's a hack down the road where I can put a zillion more games on, I'll do that. But I can play them on my Retron 77 already, so I can play them on my Collector Vision Phoenix on the SD card already as well, which those are already both hooked up. So this might just be something I don't normally display. I've said that a million times, but maybe this will go right up on top of that TV in my game room, the old CRT, right next to my original 4-switch Woody, and will just be there. And at some point down the road, after I'm long gone, maybe this will be worth something to my son or my grandkids to sell. Hey, we got the Atari 50th. Nobody can get it anywhere. There's probably a market out there. There's probably somebody that's going to want it 20 years down the road, and maybe they can sell it. And it's all profit to them because stupid Mr. Poestyle paid for it originally. Not stupid. It's nice. It's really cool. It looks great. I think it looks great. Want one more switch in there. That's what I want. Don't know if we'll get an Atari Flashback 12 at all down the road. Like I said, it seems like they're slowing down with that now. But this was definitely something cool. So if you have a Switch and you want the steel box, get that or download it on your other systems or your VCS if you have the VCS. But it's Atari. This is their 50th year. I got a couple things from it anyway. And Atari's where it all started with me, so that to me is friggin' sweet. I know this video went way longer than I thought it would, but again, a little bit passionate when it comes to the 2600 and Montgomery Wards. So thank you for watching, and now I gotta go pick up a Domino's pizza. Can you believe that? That's a throwback too. Remember Avoid the Noid? I have that game, Yo Noid, for my NES. I think I've played it on this channel before. If I haven't, maybe I'll do that. I haven't had Domino's pizza since 1996 when I was in tech school in the Air Force at Vandenberg, California. There was one right on base or just off base. It was close by, so when there was pizza, somebody ordered it. I was there to eat it. I didn't pay for it. Everybody just gave me pizza because I'm so likable and lovable. And Domino's was the main one. That's actually how I had my very first Hawaiian pizza. Somebody ordered one and I'm like, what is this? And I ate it and I'm like, hi, that's all right. But we got a Domino's pizza here. I'm rambling. In a town about 10 miles from here, so they don't do delivery, and that was a few years back. So I'm like, I want to get one again just because I hadn't had one. And back in 96, it seemed like great pizza. I see a lot of people say it's not. Maybe it just seemed that way because I had been through basic training in tech school and hadn't had pizza, real pizza, for a little bit, so I thought it was great. Plus it was free. Everybody was buying me pizza every weekend. But I thought it was pretty great, and then this one went in about 10 miles away. They don't do delivery. I'm never really in that direction from home, so times that I did pass it, we're doing other stuff. Now they put one in another place that doesn't do delivery, but they're a lot closer now. And they've been in for about a month or two now, so I went ahead and ordered. So there's a throwback. I'm going to go pick me up some Domino's pizza I haven't had in 26 years. Thanks for watching, everybody. I rambled. I hope you were able to make it to the end of this video. If you weren't, hey, I'm used to that. But I appreciate each and every one of you, and thank you guys. I think I'm up to 212 subscribers now. I never would have imagined this when I started this channel almost 2 years ago. So I thank you all, and please leave comments below if you think you're going to get a Flashback System 50. Did you get the Atari 50 collection, the anniversary celebration on any system or Switch or anything? Are you enjoying that? I'm loving it. That's my game of the year. Garbage Pail Kids was close. Digital Clips worked on both of them. Cowabunga edition of the Ninja Turtles, and that was Digital Clips. These guys are going places. If you haven't seen it already, they have the feels for everything nostalgic that we do, and they're giving it to us. They're giving us some really great content this year in 2022, and I just can't wait to see where they go from there. And a shout out to Ballistic Coffee Boy for everything, your Atari news. Go see him. And BMK Retro Gaming, go see him because he reviews a lot of great games, and a lot of them happen to be Atari 2600 related, or ColecoVision, or Intellivision, the old school fun reviews. He does a new video every Wednesday. He does a new homebrew or pro brew or prototype every Sunday, and unboxing as he gets video games in. So check out both of those channels. Thank you for watching. Hopefully we'll see you on the next one, the next Mr. Poestyle video. Montgomery Wards. Montgomery Wards, what can I say? Used to work for them. Wow. 2022 Montgomery Ward's Atari 2600, kinda. Amazing. Blows the mind. I'm going to go have some pizza. I'll give you some too if you want. Let me know in the comments below if you want to Slice of pizza? Oh, Nacho. Come here, Nacho. No biting. No bite. Ooh, no biting. Oh, Nacho, stop.